Hello friends and welcome. This is Professor DIY. Behind the camera is Elpida, and helping us as always today Mrs. DIY. Some time ago we built some organization system in here in our automotive shed, which many of you liked, and of course in typical us fashion we did not really utilize very well. In typical us fashion, you like that?
Us? Not using? Well, they're being used.
Not very well though.
You can see they're very well used.
So today we're going to try and improve upon it, which unfortunately requires taking things out so we can reorganize them. So we're not going to bore you with that aspect, but the build aspect we're going to bore you with. So stick around and we're going to show you every step of what we're doing. So we don't often do this, but stay until the end of the video and we're going to have some exciting news for you. So we're going to use only scraps and transform the mess we just showed you into this beautifully organized corner of our shop. Again, everything we used on this project is scrap. Our cost for this project was zero, and we're able to use some scraps that have been with us for a year or more. So this is a great project. Using scraps is something that I always enjoy. As always, stick around. We're going to show you and tell you tips and tricks on how to do things easier in your workshop. You can clearly see here how disorganized this old style was. The shelves operated and did their job, but they end up being way too high and we will start piling things on top of each other. And here we speed up the process because this is arguably a very boring process, but you're going to see how well we use the space after we finish this project. That's what this was. What are you laughing at?
You. It was like the Russian dolls. You kept picking one up and there was a smaller one underneath it.
You think you're funny. So we're cleaning a significant portion of here. We are starting the construction, and right now we're doing a little bit of dry fitting to see what we like. Everything we're going to use will be scraps, so it will not be something you can display in your living room. But again, this is an automotive set. We do not care how it looks. We care that it is functional.
So here are the mostly empty shelves. We've got pieces that we're working on trying to figure out how to do the shelves. And then here is all the stuff that came off of there.
Both on the bottom and on the top. So as you can see, these were not usable because we could not see what we had. So we hope to address that issue and be able to see what we have now. So we're using our tallest can. It happened to be a bag and tire remover, but so we can fit everything underneath. And we're going to use this as the guide on how high we want our shelving unit to be. And I think we're going to be somewhere there. And we're going to put the tallest, of course, in the back and the shortest on the front. So we'll be able to see.
Is to start.
Some eons ago, we put, there are 3x4s, right? We put 3x4s?
2x4s?
2x3s.
2x3s.
Okay. We don't know.
One of those dimensions.
We don't know our dimensions, guys. We put 2x3s together because we made some, we made legs out of it?
Table legs, yeah.
Table legs. And that was a long time ago. You see the material of the wood has changed color. But today we're going to put them to service again. However, we need to separate them now. We love what we do, so we'll do it 3 times. It helps if you unlock it.
You think so?
It doesn't move otherwise. Who would have thought?
The lock makes it not move, huh?
So we're going to eyeball that it's about middle.
That's good.
That's good. All right, then let's see. Hold on. And we're going to see if we can do it in 1 pass. Probably it's a better idea to do it in 2 passes.
I would think so.
We'll try in 1 pass just because.
I think it's better in 2.
Yeah, me too, but we're not going to do what's better. We're going to do what's sillier. Be careful there.
That sounds like us.
That sounds like us. In all seriousness, this is not an unsafe cut, but most certainly if you do not feel safe, you can make the blade half of the tallness of the wood and make it in 2 passes. That is totally acceptable. I felt very comfortable actually doing it this way, That's why I did it. Always safety is your own consideration. You should not do things you do not feel safe doing, no matter what anyone on YouTube tells you or shows you. I feel comfortable doing that. I feel safe, so I did it. Again, your safety is your own business.
So we did it in a single pass because you're impatient.
Because I'm impatient, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Those are my two characteristics. I'm cheap and I'm impatient.
Just so that everybody's aware, that's why we did it that way, not because it was necessarily the right way to do
Yeah, Elpida wants to be on record that she suggested 2 passes.
it. Okay,
So you're on record, madam.
thank you.
Looks amazing.
Look how nice that looks. Okay, cool.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I'm recording again.
And now we have to half it. Again, height, precision, we're going to eyeball it. This is shop organization, not fine furniture.
And again, we're cutting these in half because we need 4 legs of equal length. Correct. Right. Excellent.
So we're not going to show you the cutting process. It's pretty much the same.
So we're using our, excuse me, shorter piece to measure the longer pieces that we've ripped, and are just cutting them all to the same size. And just aligning that with the saw blade. Looks pretty darn good there. We will repeat that 4 more times, or 3 more times, to have the 4 legs that all match. Here's 2 of the longer ones, and then we'll have 8 matching legs. And just like that, we have 8 perfectly sized verticals. And while we're here in the chop saw, we cut some small pieces with 45s, and they're going to become supports to prevent flexing of the shelves. Very simple, straightforward process. So because all those pieces are scrap, there are different dimensions. So we need to rip them to be all in the same dimensions. And for reference, these are going to be our shelves, right? The actual shelving unit where we put things on. So we use the thinnest one as our measure, and then we're going to cut them all this dimension. If possible, use a factory edge by your fence, so you're going to have a perfect cut on the other side. If your edge is not very good on your fence, you're not going to have a very clean result on the other side. If you do not have a factory edge, you might want to use a joiner or some other method to ensure that you have a very good straight edge when you end. And now we're going to go back and start the assembly process. Okay, pilot hole there. So we're starting the assembly, and to do that, we're creating pilot holes with the side supports into the top part, which is the shelf.
Okay, now we can use our assortment of screws. Make sure that this is long enough, yeah. Always use pilot holes if you wish to avoid splitting your wood, even if the product is not a finished product like it is not in our case. We'll do the same on the other side, and we'll put one in the middle too.
And then we'll do the same on the other side, and then that will be the shelf.
Rinse and repeat, right?
The shelf part itself, and then, of course, after that, we'll work on doing the supports. So on some of the scrap wood that we are using, we found some hot glue that had dried, so we're using one of the wedges.
No, this is a super industrial precision tool.
Because we spare no cost here at the Urban Homesteading Channel.
Just some creative use of things to help us.
Is it the seamless plug of our channel? But it does the job, right? I mean,
right.
And this is still functional. We still use it for what the intent was.
And we didn't have to go back to the shop for yet another tool.
Which it's very far away if you want to show it. I mean,
it's very far away, but you don't understand how many times we're going back and forth. So that's why I thought, hey, this is a nice little blade. We're going to use it, and it worked. And finally, we're using this for what was intended. This is what we built this cart for. So well, the first use of actually what we... It's holding a lot of stuff, I'll say that. Yeah. Yep. And when it is clear, it's very easy to move. It's easy to go up and down stairs. Yep. It does exactly what we wanted it to do. Perfect. So we went straight from the
the dry fit to the assembly. And we're going to tell you some of our design elements when we are done, but we're going to repeat that on the other side. And this shelf will be completed. So we took a bunch of scrap and we made a shelf. And a couple of points we want to make you, to show you, not make you, but when you're in between two pieces, because we didn't have a long enough piece to make it one, you just put a screw on both, that they kind of, they're on each side of the gap, right? And we do that on both sides. Mm-hmm. And that is now a very solid one piece. How solid is it? It's very solid. See?
Yep.
Okay. It looks fantastic. Excellent. So here we are coming from the top. I don't know if you want to go around and show them. So we can add a little more strength and stability to the legs. And it's a little bit more. By the way, he has run like 50 screws with no issues, and the camera comes on. It's always the case, right?
Yes. It's like when you're typing. Like when you're typing, you always make mistakes when people are watching you.
Right. So we'll do the same in the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Need to close that a little bit. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Is that the front or the back? That's the back. Okay. No worries. Just put it on.
I'm not sure I can close that because of this one.
This is not. I don't think you hit the screw there, did you?
No, I didn't. I'm at
Okay.
the side of it.
Try to avoid as much as you can the knot. Because there is a knot there in the perfect spot. So knots give character to pieces, but you do not want to screw through them or attach any support through them because they can come off as the wood dries and change temperatures. Temperatures, is that the right term?
Sure.
You can clearly see here that even with the pilot hole, the knot made the wood split. So the first shelf is finished, and we put it in the location that we want it, and we're going to come and put some marks around the legs. We're going to draw the location of the legs. Mrs. DIY will do that. It can be left as it is, especially if you want this place to be convertible and move the shelf every now and then. But if you would like it to attach it, this is what we're doing now. We're going to mark where the legs are, and we're going to show you what we tend to do so we don't have to do any measuring, because, as you know, we should change our name to the Always Measure channel, right? Because that's what we always do. As a research scientist, I learned that the more you measure, the more mistakes you make. So measurement's bad. We don't do them. So we have our little square measure there, and Mrs. DIY will just make a hole, and we'll repeat that in all 4 areas. All right, and then we'll come from the bottom, and we are going to attach our legs. And we're going to do it to the other 2, but there is no need to show you that.
So you can see that we've got these 2 already attached from underneath. That screw is right up in there. There we go. We had to put an extension onto our drill in order to get into these tight spaces. And now it's just about locating the hole that we drilled from the top.
This is not the easiest way to drill upside down, but this is arguably the hardest part of the build. Attaching the screws from underneath is very, very difficult. So this is the only piece of scrap that most people might not have because it's a fairly long piece. What we said, 38 and 3/7?
38 and 7/8.
I don't even know what that was.
The process of cutting wood lengthwise, it is called ripping, and the process of cutting the wood widthwise is called cross-cutting. These are the most common cuts that you're going to make as a woodworker.
I don't care if they're identical, but do you need me to do? Yeah. Do you want me to make it identical or no?
So earlier you noticed that we got some 45-degree little supports, and we decided this would be the perfect way to support this next shelf instead of building another structure, because we already have the structure. No need to repeat ourselves, right? So we just cut the length for each of the pieces, and we're going to put them on, and we're attaching them with screws.
So we've got these links that are going to go up here on these, and we'll actually do the back one first, but just to show you how it's going to work here. And they go side to side.
And then we have these leftover melamine pieces.
Right, that are going to create that shelf.
Okay. Steep pieces tend to be kind of hard to drill on because they want to move and open what you've already done. A tip we want to give you is if you use another one, a spare one, now you're creating a very strong, tight connection that you can put a lot of pressure, and as you can see, we already made the hole without any difficulty. That prevents it from opening on the bottom and also prevents it from moving towards, you know what I want to say, right?
The upright.
Yeah. So you can put much more pressure without damaging your connection. And just like that, I don't know how long it took us, excluding the cleaning.
74 days.
74 days. 1,000 years later, here we are. We have much more storage space in our little automotive shed. And these actually have been almost a year ago that there were remnants from our entertainment center build. I'll put it up there if you want to see that. And everything else was really scrap. So our effective cost to make this was zero. How much would we have to pay to buy the material? I mean, we didn't have to buy this material, that's expensive. But if we were to buy OSB, we're still looking at maybe $20, $30 material, right?
Yeah, at most, because it's a very small area that we built.
So I'm very happy with the outcome. Ladies, do you like
Yep,
it?
I think we're going to have a lot more utility and be able to put more things on the shelves without being on top of each other.
So let us do that, and we're going to spare you the putting things back together, but we're going to take that and put it here and see if we have now more space. We made space, Alpida.
You cannot buy anything else.
So this ended exactly as we intended to, but when you work with scraps, there are some challenges, will I say, right? For example, nothing was the same dimension with anything else. So we needed to do a little more milling. What else did we learn using these scraps to finish this project, ladies?
Well, we did have to attach, and for stability purposes, we wanted to attach our new shelf to the existing shelf. And so making sure that everything was plumb and level and square was a little bit more challenging.
And we saw you two different ways to do that. This is an easy way you can even use inside your house, just you will pay a little more attention to make it look better. But you can put it in a closet or something like that, right? Or even in a kitchen cabinet to create a tier look for your storage. And this is on an existing structure, as you can see, but this is much simpler, much faster to build than this. Correct?
Yep.
Elpida, what is one thing that we learned from today?
If you're going to use these triangular supports, it's easier to drill them before you try to install them, because otherwise your drill bit can walk because you're at an angle.
Right. So friends, this is our project for today, and we're very happy the way it turned out. As you can see, this is much easier displayed, much better displayed, easier to see what we have and use it when we need it. Where in the past, all of those things were really on top of this shelf because these two didn't exist, and they were really on top of each other, right? So what you see in those four shelves now were all on top of this shelf, just making a mess. So we're very excited to announce a giveaway for Christmas as an appreciation of your support to the channel for all those years. So we're going to, in one of our future Wednesday Quickies, we're going to show you what the giveaway is where you have not purchased it. It will be something brand new. So, and we're going to send it to you free of charge. We're going to pay for the shipping and everything. And I'm going to let Elpida tell you exactly what you need to do to qualify.
So you do need to be a subscriber, and you do need to watch all the videos through the end of the month of November.
Starting with this video.
And you need to name the number of tips or tricks that we... In how many videos, though?
In any of those videos.
In any of the videos, okay. The number of tips and tricks in any of those videos for the month of November. And then from those people who are either correct, or if no one is correct, we'll pick people who are the closest to the correct number. And from that pool, then we will randomly select the winner.
Correct. And again, we finally used our card for our intended purpose. I'm happy for that.
Christmas, yes.
And one of these days, I don't know if we're going to show it, this we're very happy with, but we're not using it to its potential. So this will be another project for another day. If you like what you see today and you like this kind of projects, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, 2 thumbs down will show us that you don't like it. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know. You like videos like that? Do you want to see more of this? From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY, and Elpida, let's build something together.